Good morning. I'm starting like a minute early, maybe 30 seconds early. All right, anybody else dragging? I'm dragging today. Feels like I went a few rounds with someone. Oh, Apple pre-open. It's already dipping. In case you missed it, hello. In case you missed it, Apple had a weird tick yesterday, down to like 170 point something. Last couple of days. So not always do they come true, but I would not be surprised to see Apple at 170. For some reason, it has, I don't know, it has the market taken a little tumble. Not quite, but I see Apple at 171 and falling. I don't see the same drop in the other mega caps. So, all right. So first things first, I'm going to check on the major indices, and we're looking at the QQQ. This is a 1 hour chart, so 60 minutes there. It's doing what we thought it would be doing, and it wants to go, but it can't go because this guy is holding it down, the SPY. Thank you for being here. Hopefully we'll have more people in here. We're doing these twice a week. I'm not committing to Monday and Wednesday for now. That's how it's working out. Monday is good. It's like a strategy session before the week starts, and then Wednesday is like a little touch up in the middle of the week. I lost Tuesday somewhere. I don't know what happened to Tuesday. Anyway, so we can. I'm looking at the SPY, and if you're reading my notes every day, we're stuck in this area for a long time. And because we have a bunch of junk above that we cannot cut through. So we have a lot of things to push through, and they're not. This cluster box right here, which is basically the range for a lot of days now, has been here forever. So they need something to push them through it. The NASDAQ has already punched through it. So not sure what is going to make that happen. But hopefully this will happen in the next couple of weeks. It has to. Either that or we dip about 5%. So I don't think we stay here very long. As far as stickers this morning, I'm sharing the list. Feel free to add to it. I just punched through 2 of them, SPY and Qs. The IWM, on the other hand, is lagging and trying to hang on to dear life. You can see the red and green boxes. We're playing ping pong inside those. And there's some sort of a rotation between the NASDAQ and the IWM. It's not very consistent, but it is happening. Anybody know why Apple's falling? Somebody said something. No more iPhones. Anyway, so the IWM needs to hold the support. Otherwise, it dips, I think, 5%. And if it does that, it might go 7 or 8%. Walmart, all right, we'll do that. And let me know when it is a ticker that has earnings. I think Walmart has earnings coming up. Because whatever I say, if it has earnings, then my comments are not that important, but they could play out. All right, so let's see here. I added Walmart. Yeah, okay. Target this morning reported, and TJX. So I looked at the reports. Sales-wise, they're shrinking. No. Just up like 0.6%, and the comp sales and all of that, not very exciting. So what's the stock doing this morning? Slightly green. So my comments yesterday about that, target earnings guess from me, I would not hold calls. 0.6%. If you bought calls, you lost money for this week because the implied volatility was high. It's easier to fall than to rally. If it hits 150, you will find buyers. It looks like it hit 151 overnight, and it found buyers. So the comments were good. It might rally today, but I think at the bell, a whole bunch of implied volatility is going to disappear. If you don't book your profits early, you might not have them. Anyway, just manage your own risk. I would not have held calls. So from that perspective, whatever that thing is, what the hell is this? And whatever this thing is, now you have a box that is bounding target. Earnings, mess. -1 day 2. So I know that there was that funky thing here. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so now you have a range for target, and it's pretty wide. Maybe an iron condor on it can work. Okay. Hello. Yes, good morning. Here's a list of what we're doing. Feel free to add to it, and I will add it to the queue. All right, we are at, and then we're going to do TJX. Hello, Luis. How are you today? All right, so TJX, my guess from options, although thin data, meaning I looked at the options chain yesterday and the data was not heavy. It can't rally too much. That was my comment. I would not hold calls. There's a small scattered support below. Implied volatility double what it should be, so use calendars and diagonals. So if somebody did that, they probably fared better. It's slightly down. So my comments on TJX and Target were spot on as far as trading purposes. And now you can put a box around this zone from 79.4 to 76.4, $3 wide zone, to say, okay, I can trade that range until it fails. So here's the thing with these. They're not that exciting. The comp sales is the same story. The U.S. consumer may be spending about the same as before, so there's no major message. You need a box. I just gave it to you, 79.40 and 76.50.40, something like that. So $3 wide box. I'm not excited about these guys' future just based on the fact that they're not growing comps. Although I will take that over a disaster comp sales story. Cisco, I think, reports tonight. If you remember, remind me later to actually look at the options chain to give us an idea, because throughout the day there'll be changes in the options chain that will give us cues as to what they want to do. Now, earnings aside, I would imagine that there could be a dip down to, say, 46.5, and it would be an opportunity to get long so it can curl back up and pop. So unfortunately, the earnings reaction is going to come in the way of that, and I'm not sure how they're going to react to that. So the earnings might be okay. It's the reaction that we don't know. Although the options data has been pretty good. Hi, Dave. It's been a pretty good body language. So we've guessed correctly almost on all of them. And that could save you some money if you can just read the options chain. Where can you learn about that? With us. Just come join the group if you're not part of the group. I opened up the YouTube session to everybody just so they can see what we do all day. By the way, we do this all day in case you don't know. Live. I share my screen minus the camera and we do this live. All right, so Baba also has earnings. They tell me tomorrow morning, I think. So late in the day, I'll look at the options to get a better idea. Without the earnings, you have, the way I see it, you have sellers into 98, you have buyers into 80. We're somewhere in the middle. So if you buy a call, you're guessing. If you buy a put, you're guessing. You can improve your guessing by having some sort of a thesis. You're chasing this formation or that formation. To me, there's a hard line around 90. If I look left, that was a hard line at one point, and we're coming back into it. So 90, 94 are important. I don't know why I would want to invest in Alibaba because of the extra Chinese headlines that we have. I don't know much about Chinese politics, nor do I know about the legitimacy of the books. They tell me everybody over there keeps 3 sets of books, so I don't know what to trust. The business itself seems okay, but I'm not sure how it is after the beatdown that they took from the government. So I've traded it actively, but I wouldn't invest in it. I wouldn't double down on it. So Tesla is stuck in the zone. It's pretty violent. The range yesterday, for example, was 164.5, and then it rallied to 168-ish after hours, and it was as high as almost 170. So pretty wide range. This morning, what's important is they beat the high point from yesterday. So if you see the pre-open poke right there is higher than everything yesterday and is into the fails from before. Usually that's not easy to poke through, but once they do, they overshoot higher. So if Tesla gets the right price action from the market, if it gets help from the market, it might come up to here. You guys remember Apple yesterday, if you were in the live room with me? I said, what's with that 170 tick in Apple? Well, right now it's 170.8 out of the blue. Magic, Wall Street. Somebody pushed the button early. Now, master. Yeah, some Somebody in some lab somewhere. Oh, I told you tomorrow, you idiot. Tencent also reports, yeah, if I'm not investing in BABA, I'm definitely not investing in Tencent. See this one note right there? 516 flash low. Not so crazy. It does have support, but it does also, if it loses this area, you could trigger this flush lower. Clearly, Apple itself is not going to have a correction without the market following it. It is the biggest influence on the S&P. Hey, London. They were wondering who was the mystery person in the pictures. So let's see here. So Apple all by itself is not in trouble or anything like that. It is near its all-time highs, and it is in a breakout from here, and this is about the target of that. And on top of it, this is a major fail last August. So that's what we're dealing with. The Nasdaq is coming up against failures that are older than the S&P failures, and they've cleared levels that the S&P has not. Apple is stuck in the middle. It's the heaviest influencer on the S&P. So what's the drag on the S&P? A whole bunch of other sectors. So if Apple falls into the 160s, it would be normal price action. It would feel painful, but it would be normal price action in this abnormal market. So in fact, 152, 148 would be the 50% retracement. To me, if you put a box around this, that would make a fair place to find buyers, like legitimate buyers. I don't want it to come back there, but if it does come back there, I wouldn't be too surprised. All right, so going back in. Short term, you can see head and shoulderish pattern, which would bring around this area, 169, 168.5. Google has been on fire. Yesterday, 116 low, high 120.8 or 0.75. That's not the stock that usually does that. Breakout from here, this is an overshoot, but you can see that they're buying something, AI, whatever. This is not a healthy base for any stock. If somebody just now decided they want to, quote, invest in Google, I question their logic. So if you're investing for the long term, why are you piling into it right here? It's better in this case to miss out on a few upside bucks than to grab it and it falls 10%. At least fill the gap. What the heck happened here? I didn't even pay attention. Anyway, artificial intelligence is exciting. I'm using it every day almost for various reasons, and if they charge for it, I will pay for it. So there you go. That's a source of income, me saying that. And I don't pay for a lot of things when I don't have to. So it is an opportunity for Microsoft, for Google, and it's the reason why companies like Palantir exist. So dips are better to get into. And for example, if I go long Google here, although it was rallying yesterday on a red market, so I would think logic dictates that if Google is going higher, then the S&P is also going higher. It hasn't worked out that way. So how about the Qs? The Qs are going higher. So I would rather be long the Qs than Google itself, just because of this very extended chart and going into a prior fail. So be wary of that. Where am I buying it? Right into a prior fail. So I don't want to do that at the risk of missing some more upside. Hi, Mimi. All right, so now we have NVIDIA next. Feel free to give me tickers. I gave you mine. Scroll back up, you'll find them. And NVIDIA is in the same boat as Google, also rallying, I think, on the extra AI element. And you can't short an idea. I have a lot of people in the room that want to short it, and my advice is always, you can't short an idea. It's intangible. So what is that? Hope. You can't kill hope in 1 week or one level. So short something else. If I wanted to short the market, I would short. If I wanted to short NVIDIA, I would short the market. It's easier. Same with Google. Look at this trend. It's way too high. It's I get this comment all the time. Overbought. Yeah, overbought can remain overbought for years. Just ask those who were shorting Amazon and Tesla for a while. So let's see here. The idea is to not fight the obvious trend. And clearly this is in the hands of the bulls. I would let it go. We will add coin to the list. Did they report? No, they reported a bit ago, I think. All right, so Netflix, am I going to find the same thing as those two? No, Netflix is range bound. So short-term Netflix, you have sellers at 348 and buyers below 318. So basically this white box plus a little extra. These are prior fails that are a lot of resistance until they are taken out. So I know I have a lot of lines here. So let me see if I can take out the overnight and clean it up a little bit. Take out all the lines. Go to the daily and look at it this way. So this is a clean look on Netflix daily chart. You can see how these prior losses are a problem, but they're coming at them from higher lows. If they take out 351 rounding, it could take this out easily. The target of this breakout is higher than this, although this is a lot of selling, but I wouldn't short it with conviction based on this technical advantage. So here's the thing though, they haven't started monetizing the idea of them locking up sharing of usernames and passwords. So I'm pretty sure I read that in their commentary. So whenever that happens, I bet you you're going to see a tangible move in the actual P&L. I can't imagine it hurts their subscribership because they're just going to cut off some freeloaders, and then those freeloaders are going to decide that, okay, it's worth it to pay the $15 a month or whatever it costs. So yeah, I added Airbnb and GE. So we can do that. If you're wondering what tickers we just did, this is going to be recorded so you can scroll back and watch. All right. SE. This is a stock I went long yesterday and I already regret it. Good company, good business. The growth wasn't that great, but it wasn't awful. And I caught the falling knife yesterday, probably an hour too soon. And I'm already red in the trade. But the way I traded it is I don't need a rally. I just need it to stop collapsing. I forget what level I took, but anyway, if you remember, you've seen it. They're buying dips, right? Dip, bought, dip, bought, dip, bought, dip, bought, and this is a dip. Now this one is on earnings, so it's a little bit harsher. There's a weakness down to 68, 67. Maybe we can get there and flush that thing out. Let's see, daily chart. You can see an attempt to break out from prior huge failure. It failed, but as long as they maintain this ascending channel, it doesn't have to be surgically accurate. As long as they are buying dips inside of the channel, I'm okay with that. I would love it if they can close above 72, 73 this week. Then you would avoid this whatever pattern that is, this neckline. But if not, they will come down to 62, 64. And hopefully we won't have to get engaged with it down here. So good company on paper. So this was my comment on the earnings before the earnings. Downside pressure, my interpretation. TradeTix says up, Ryan says up, I said down, and it did fall a little bit too much, I think. I mean, there was nothing annoying about it. Thanks, Luis. Did we add Home Depot? We added Home Depot. All right, so now we have SQQQ. I don't know why you guys bother with that thing. And when you ask me about it, I'm always puzzled. All right, so why do you invest in a stock that looks like this? That's for starters. Okay, the all-time high is, what is that? Well, 525 million. Why? Because it's going to zero is why. It is doomed to fail. So if you're a perma bear, you buy this for a stint. If you think the markets are going to drop 5-10%, this is one thing you can buy into because it shorts the market at a triple leverage. And if you look at the TQQQ, which is the opposite of this one, does not keep up with the market. So if it does not keep up with the market, then this one is also mathematically mojoed. Save your money. Do something better than this. I don't know. I'm a fan of, if I wanted to short something, I'll short that something. I'm not a fan of using the leverage ETF, especially ones that are mathematically doomed like this one. Not my opinion, it's fact. Pull up the long-term chart. Now, you can be long here into 29, and if the markets collapse, you make a lot of money. So if you can time your entries before a market collapse, you're going to make a lot of money. But I can say the same thing about buying puts or buying calls in the VIX. So just know what you're doing with this. I don't trade that, by the way, ever. Walmart, is this the earnings reaction, or they haven't reported yet? They haven't reported, so what the hell is that? Oh, is this in sympathy to somebody else, like Target? That was this drop. All right, so now it gave you a shakeout. Weak hands now know where the bottom is for this week. Come to me before they report, and then we will look at the options chain to see if we can get smarter. I tell you, if it gets to 152, they're going to be sellers. That area is a pivotal zone now. Rallies are going to be challenged. Last time I checked at Walmart, there wasn't enough premium, so I wouldn't be selling puts in Walmart. Even on a day, if I remember correctly, I added TSM when the stock was falling on earnings. I'm not sure if it was last earnings or what. I went to the options chain. I couldn't find any puts to sell, which was pretty weird. All right, so we're slacking with the likes and the concurrent viewers. So go retweet it, retweet whatever I tweeted this morning. We need to spread the word. We need more people in here. So Walmart is one of those where I would buy premium. I wouldn't sell premium. I haven't found anything exciting. And this dip right here, this long candle, gives you the worst case scenario, in my opinion, for now. I'll check it via options and see if we can get smarter with that comment. Coin, I would not touch coin. I'm a fan of crypto, and I would not touch coin. Because look at that, the read of the earnings was correct as well, upside. If Bitcoin is rallying, coin rallies. If Bitcoin is falling, coin falls. If the stock market is falling, coin falls, and the stock market is rallying, coin may rally. So it inherits the problems with Bitcoin, the problem with the stock market. If you're trading coin to trade Bitcoin, use a different ticker. BIDU is better. It's 1-to-1, and there's no company junk. If you like the company fundamentals, then invest in it. Let's see if I like the company fundamentals. If I go to the annual, look at the income, 9 billion, 3 billion, and the expenses are piling up. I don't understand their P&L. So if you do, just be aware that the sales are falling off a cliff and the expenses are high. They may have bought something. So be careful when you're investing in a company to understand it. Technically, you have a lot of sellers into 63. If you clear 63, 64, maybe you get to 70. You do have a buyer around 54, 56, 54. So you're stuck. Head and shoulder-ish in spirit. So if you lose 56, 57, you might come down to 52. As a trade, I would get long into this square down here, this area. As a trade, because it might curl back up and give me $4 out of it. As an investment, just do your thing. Go in one piece at a time. Look at this. These notes are from eons ago, and check it out. From eons ago. I'm going to leave them back there. Look at this. I can't make this stuff up, right? So the range is tightening. Something is coming, and it's going to be violent once they do that. Meanwhile, you have a lid and a bottom. Ping pong. Not for me. Again, I am long crypto, but not through this guy. GE, I'm no longer short, which means it's going to fall. No, that's not what it means. GE is in an incredible... I'm tempted to reshort. I'm definitely tempted. So if they can't make another high above 103, I think they can go to 90, maybe even 85. 87. So vulnerable, that would be a fair statement. I fought with it 3 times, lost twice, won once, and the one I won made up for the other 2 and then some. So Roblox, yes, too many variables in coin. That's exactly. RBLX, yes, we can do Roblox. I added Roblox. Thank you. Is that how you word it? How about saying, are we going to have a market correction between now and September? The VIX itself is not a stock that rallies. It's an emotional response to a market correction. Shorting Shopify. Okay, let's see. How about I'll add Shopify. You're going to have to help me out with earnings dates. Okay, we are at Airbnb. I want to say I went long Airbnb, although I don't remember. I think so. I would not hold calls. That was a good thing. So Airbnb, if I take out all the lines, I think it had a good rally and it gave up half of it. Naturally speaking, this is where it's going to find buyers into 100, 105. So if I went long, I should also be aware that rallies will find sellers. So the way I go long matters. A jump into 110 or 112 is going to be met with an attempt to sell it. And then versus this long wick down here. So you can see there are buyers below. That's what this thing is telling us. And there's going to be sellers. And that's what I'm telling you. So holding calls, call diagonals better, call calendars better, sold puts or put spreads better. Combination of any of those would work. So be conscious of the types of the ways you go long or short something. Make sure it fits the chart and it fits your time frame. Home Depot. It reacted to earnings the way we thought it would, at least the way I thought it would. This long wick triggered that, and they stayed above it. So it's important this week they stay above 280. So then these would solidify that base. So I wouldn't be so worried about it. But just like Airbnb, rallies into 287 are going to be met with sellers and 288. So if I buy a call here and I get a bump to 288, I would get out, consider it a trade. Because if it curls back down and it loses that level where it bounced from, it could come back down to 272. And it would be normal price action. The fundamentals weren't great on the performance, although better than what I expected. I'm puzzled as to who's spending money at Home Depot. If everybody is out of work and everybody's struggling to keep up with inflation, who the hell is spending money at Home Depot? Okay, that's my question. So you can see how important these lines are. In theory, if you lose this line, you're going down to here, 210. It's going to take a market correction. I don't think Home Depot will go there all by itself. And there are a lot of buyers into 270 and 260 and 250. So this would be a put I would sell with confidence, provided the stock market doesn't collapse. And it can happen. So what we're doing is we're opening trades, but I'm closing other trades. I'll give you an example. I shared winning trades in AMD with the gang when it was falling. And then when it bounced, now that it bounced, those trades are profitable. So before I took another trade, I rolled risk out of them into something else. So yesterday I took one trade, maybe two, but I closed two. So I'm not leaving all my risk open. I'm leaving money on the table, as they say, because we don't know what we don't know. Market correction can happen and it could be violent. This is the dumbest set of politicians we've had in charge of us and the dumbest set of people being ruled. We are as dumb as can be right now, collectively. We are gobbling up what they're giving us. So be careful. Some pretty surprising things can happen when stupid people are with stupid people. Okay. Roblox, Shopify, I added that. Home Depot, TSM. The company itself, I like it better than Lowe's. And Lowe's might be reporting earnings soon, and it might impact Home Depot to a degree. Not a lot, though. Yes, I got it. I got it. Don't even say it. I got it. Okay. The TSM. I like this little breakout, although I'm not a fan of like slanted necklines that way. Usually they're fake outs. So this candle right here is pretty good. The day report, is that a report? Yeah. Okay. Wait. Am I seeing this right? I'm looking here and it says 46 likes. I'm going to take a breather. Let me know when we hit, I don't know, 600. Oh, that could be a long time. I need a drink. Just, if you haven't hit like, please. Okay. TSM, I think the last time I looked at it, its fundamentals are pretty good, so I'm not going to go there. The only problem with TSM is the extra risk that it carries from being in Taiwan and the conflict between the US and China and whatever, potentially. So that's the only question mark. I would love to go along this on dips, but most often I hesitate, although tradable. And the Qs are in a breakout. This guy would be in a breakout. It's going into a long wick, a long candle, set of candles that are dangerous, but I think what can happen is it can dip a little bit and then get to 90 or 91. So if I'm long, I can enjoy it. If I'm chasing long, I should look left and say, oh boy, this whole zone is treacherous to start longs. So this will be a buy on a dip idea. Where are we at? 51? Can we get to 60, please? How much more time? So I have half an hour after this one. We need at least 100. That's what your predecessors did from Monday. So why are we going backwards? Let's get to 60. I can't see them live, so you're going to have to update me. Hey, Akram, Dish? Okay, I got you. CMG, okay, we can do that. We have CMG, Etsy. Okay, Meta. Somebody is very well invested. Dish. BX. Didn't I add BX? No, okay. All right. Here's the list while I get the likes that I need. If we are up to TSM, so everything else will be in the recording, which we released like within 20 minutes after we hang up. Okay, come on, not even 60? All right, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt here. TSM, we did that. Roblox, is Roblox reporting? No, they just reported. Okay, I lost track of this stock. All right, so if we just look at the daily chart, you can see there's a high, there's a low, it's somewhere in the middle. And these gaps are too enticing, in my opinion. They're not easy to get through. Okay, so clearly if you take out 42, you can get into the gap. Okay, so we have to break it down a little bit. How many here don't subscribe to this channel? I'm just curious. And if you do subscribe to the channel, how many are not putting the bell thing on? Because then if you do that, you get notified whenever we do something live or whenever we release a video. So if you're not a subscriber of the channel, hook yourself up. I don't spam anybody. You should be able to post. I'm not restricting the post. Anybody can post. So just make sure that you subscribe to the channel and you put the bell on. And if you like what you see, also tell us about it. Okay, technically higher lows. And if you take this out, meaning you take that out, 42-ish, you can fill that whatever gap there was. So thank you, John. I appreciate it. By the way, we do this live all day, every day. We have a live trading room with about 280 to 320, 330 people that trade live as a group. You should be able to. I opened it up. That's weird. I'll double check. I'm very certain I clicked that thing off. I wanted everybody to be able to say something. All right. So Roblox, the bulls have an advantage, but they also have a tall order at 42. So buy the dip and then hopefully ride it up into the 42. Maybe a combination of a credit put spread, a bull put spread, and a debit call spread longer a time. So credit put spread will expire shorter than the other one. So you would have the opportunity to ride the longs fast and then have the downside risk roll off faster. Okay, Shopify, somebody's interested in shorting it. I'm not sure why. Maybe as a trade. Shorting Shopify as a business is not smart. This is like, what is it, Ulta or something, Lulu maybe? You can short it. You can. I mean, yes, this is a gap, but I'm not sure it is a real gap because of this action. So I would be in a buy the dip mode in Shopify. If I'm not long, I missed it. I think we were long, but via a limited way, so we capped it out. You could short it. If the market rallies, I don't think this one's going to fall. They have buyers into 57. So that's my caution on Shopify. Don't get too tempted. Why I tend to avoid the strongest stocks, because if they're too strong, I take them off my watch list. Take them off because you don't get tempted. It's different than GE. GE is consistently rallying into a prior fail, not gapping up and then. So it's not like it's super strong because of this fundamental, but these guys are different. Anyway, Chipotle, if you know retail, this guy's an anomaly. They turn positive comps like you wouldn't believe. Yes, there's a big weakness in volume down here, so it is shortable from that perspective, but make sure you know how. Somebody in the live room suggested a trade on Chipotle this week, and it was an iron condor, and that's all I'm going to say about it. So they shorted it, but they also long it for a certain period of time. I don't think it's going to collapse to 1800 all by itself. And yes, it is vulnerable for it, but I think there'll be buyers all along. So if I short it, I would use a bear call spread at best. And if it takes out this, it's gone. it will be pretty fantastic. Etsy, not the same story. It can't buy a bid. It can't hold a rally. It's falling into support. So if you went long into Etsy, you're not crazy. Make sure you stop out if they don't agree with you. So if they lose 88, it's a sign that they're done with it for now. So pick it up later, somewhere around 72. But it has buyers here, so there should be no reason it falls all by itself. Expect, you can stop out based on dollars lost or percentages lost, or you say to yourself, okay, if I lose that last tick, I'm out. Okay. Meta. Again, this is tempting to short. Oh, it's extended, overbought, and all of this. The person that asked for it, I know they have a covered call on it. I forgot the line at where they have covered calls. So covered calls means they're long, but they sold against their long, and now they're capped at their winning. To me, it's not an issue. So up here, it looked overbought, right? And then it came down to here, and look at where it's at. So up here, it's looking overbought. What if it does the same thing here? So you're fighting a concept, and look at the gap up here. Whatever concept they're presenting us for the future is not here yet. They changed their company name to Metaverse, and they haven't delivered it yet. How hard are they working towards it? And how fast are they going to tell us about it as soon as they have a hint of good news? So I wouldn't short it just because it's high. I would avoid chasing it, but for me, I can't get into it. And if I'm long and I get stopped out, I can re-enter long differently. So it's not the end of the world. Okay. Good morning, Safar. The gang is rolling in. I call those second shift. Dish, the opposite of Meta. I wouldn't touch this. I was tempted for about a week. I had it on my watch list. Ooh, look at the P&L. It's good and whatever. So now I gave up on it. I took it off my watch list. It's tempting. So if it gets to 720, maybe it gets to 780. And if it gets to 780, maybe it gets to 860. But that hasn't happened. It's been lower highs, lower lows for months and months and months. So why is this one different? Look, it keeps making lower lows. So let's see where this dip happens. If they hold 6.3 and they break out from the prior high, now you have something. Okay? So if they hold support and they take out 7.1, how about that? 7.1. Then you may have something. Sign number one. And look for the moving averages to curl up. If you're interested in learning charts, we have an in-person event in Chicago. Message me about it in June 9th and 10th. We have spots. And it's 2 days, face-to-face, guaranteed results. You will be charting like a boss. Can we get to 70 likes, please? We have 20 minutes left. Thank you. All right, that was Dish. BX, I was tempted to nibble yesterday based on support. Simple as that. Don't know much about the company. I know they have a lot of money, and I know the stock is falling into support. Now, this support is critical. It looks like a giant head and shoulders. I do not want it to be lost, but luckily they have backup. All these tails are backup support. So in theory, if they lose 80, emphatically, they can come to like 73 or 74. And I don't think, which is here. They were here last year in December. It's not impossible, but I don't think it does it alone. That means the markets have corrected hard as well. Okay, that's BX. Let me see here. What are we adding here? I'm going to go backwards. Palantir. FWONK? Are you serious? Is that a ticker? I'm intrigued. BIDU. CROX. FCX. Wow, you guys snuck in a lot of tickers. DT. PayPal. Oh my gosh. And TSN. I don't know what TSN is. Tyson Foods. I would avoid that. Okay, so I think I have... Oh, and IBM. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of these. Alright, so we are at Palantir. I closed my longs because a wise man told me to. Who? I heard Jim Cramer was bullish Palantir, so I got out. I've been carrying this position for a while. It was a pretty good win, and I just, on a whim, I heard he was long. I got out. I would re-engage long. If the market falls, I would jump on it in many different ways. I believe in the company long term, and in fact, I took longs because of why people sold it. I disagreed with the reasons they sold it, and I was correct and they were wrong. Okay. FWONK. That will be, I don't think I've ever seen that before. FWONK. Liberty Media Corporation series. Oh, Formula One. Yeah, I've ditched watching Formula One. I would rather watch go-kart racing on YouTube. Bunch of princesses and a bunch of cheaters. It's rigged, by the way, in case you don't know. So $70 put, the buyers at $70 are there. If you lose that, maybe you get to 66. If you wanted to short it, you can short it against 76.3. You take that out, you can get to 82. It's sad that I don't watch Formula One because I absolutely love racing, and it's just junk. All right, so there's a buyer at 72. Definitely. So you're range bound for now, and you can chase the breakout if it happens or buy the dip into support. They should have invested in a better ticker than this. They have enough money. BIDU. Higher lows, that's good. Target one of this red thing you see on the screen is around here. So whatever dip happened, I think there are buyers into 124. And if you by chance take out 134.5, 135, you can get to 42 or 44. It might react with BABA. I know BABA reports in the next couple of days, so you might want to guard yourself. Be ready to buy it at 122 if it falls on BABA. So in fact, I'm going to move this up. That's an alert for me. Hi, Giovanni. You're a little bit late, but that's okay. CROX. Subscribe and get notified. Put the bell so you won't be late. You missed out. You can watch the recording, by the way. The Italy Formula One? Okay. Is it Monza? Is that Monza? Do they still do Monza? Okay. 120.5 would be beating a level. A prior fail level will get you to 125 maybe, which is another battle. Meanwhile, you have very sharp 109.5-ish support. If you lose that, because look, sharp. If you lose it, they will come down to 97, maybe even 95. You have a lot of, maybe 102, they will give it a good go as far as support. So this is, I'll put an alert here, kind of an Yeah. There's a factoid about this Shoe Brand and Idiocracy, the movie. It's pretty funny. FCX, Freeport, right? Okay. So the bears are in charge on the daily chart, which means rallies will be sold. So if it comes up to 38, don't start longs. And if you're actually trading it, this is where I would start locking some of those profits. And it could just bleed lower to 32. That is on the daily chart. Shorter term, you can see how they're selling the moving averages. So now the battle is, can it get above 37.2 before it loses 34.3? 37.2, 34.3. That's the question. If they can clear 37.2, then they may be curling up. Okay. Meanwhile, they're making lower lows. They're selling rallies. You can see it. That's what I meant. The bears are in charge. They're selling rallies and lower lows. You want to change that. DT. I am unfamiliar with DT. Okay, so I don't care what this company does. I don't get involved in a chart that's going into a prior fail. Now the exciting part is if they can take this out, they go to here, even though they have a lot of sellers. So, oh, it is here already. Okay, so let's see where it closes. After hours, it looks like it's up at 50. Look at that. So let's see if it dips and holds 47. Then it's probably gonna crawl to 57. We have more likes than people. That means somebody came and left. They got their answers. That's good. That's funny. I appreciate you people hitting those likes. It just puts us higher on the search engines and YouTube probably if they see people liking a comment. Okay, so it's popping against the prior fail. Keep that in mind. And see if it can come. I don't like it that they pop to here, kind of like what they did with Amazon. Now they place a big target at 52. If it gets to 52 and I'm long from yesterday, I would exit into 52. Okay, PayPal, the company that's going out of business. Haven't you heard? My God, can you stop falling, please? I took longs, but again, I have room. It can still lose about, I'm doing air math, 10% and I still make money. But for crying out loud, they're treating it like it's going out of business. I believe this is like levels from a decade ago, 2017 here. So yeah, that was a big rally in 2017, but the PNL is still decent and Square is acting better. They lost the neckline and now they don't have any support from until 217. So that makes it hard to say, okay, it's going to stop right here. So now the bears are in charge and they're selling rallies aggressively. At some point they won't. So let's look at what happens at 63 if they get there. If they get to 65, then they may have curled this. Until then, expect lower lows, bleeding. I sold the put. I will take the shares. I'm not going to defend the put. What am I missing here? The ES? No, okay. All right. Let's see here. PayPal, TSN. I'm ending sharply at 6:20 my time, so 9:20. I want to give myself 10 minutes to get ready for the market and the members as well. So members, I really appreciate your support in here. It helps. Plus, this is an extra charting session or two. All right, so Tyson Foods. I don't get involved with this stock. Inevitably, there'll be a chicken crisis somewhere. Like PayPal, it's fallen from any recent support, and you have to look to the pandemic. PayPal has lost the pandemic level miles away. So you can go long against the pandemic lows. If you're interested in investing in this company for a long term, then maybe you nibble. Do not take all in. We don't know what we don't know. There's a reason why the market hates it like that. Just like with PayPal, there's a reason. Okay. SPY and Qs, those are the first two things I did. So you can rewind this video after it gets released and you will see I did the IWM as well. All right. Tyson Foods, IBM. I can end with those tickers if I have time. So one of my least favorite mega caps. It is the most underperforming, underwhelming company on the planet. I think they've been shrinking comps for, I don't know, 10 years, maybe 20, 30, 40 quarters. I don't know. Maybe they stopped that. But for a stretch of like 10 years, they've been shrinking. Management they've been talking about artificial intelligence since I was a kid. They were two chess players, and their computer was fighting it out with the chess players, and they haven't done anything with it. And now all the AI conversation is not even around IBM. So this is the problem with IBM management. The chart is good. It is tradable. It is inside a pretty strong, solid support zone, and it's scattered, which is what I like. One here, one here, one here, one here. So it will take a lot to have it come down to 110. So instead of saying, oh my gosh, this looks like a ledge and it's going to come down to 110 and 104, it can, but it would have to convincingly lose 116. If that happens, yes, it can come down to here because the rallies will be sold. So let's drill down a little bit and see. So if this dip makes a new low and they pop, they're going to sell the rally. But they could curl back up here and avoid this whole thing. So with a bit of help from the market, this can curl back up to where they can snap out of it. 128 would be a good sign that that's done. I know it's $5 higher, less than $5, but it's a matter of taking one level at a time. So come here before you lose this, and then you would have maybe made a rounding bottom. GE, I'm pretty sure I covered it. No, I did not. Okay, we'll add GE. If I have, sorry. No, I did. Way back there. Way back there. After coin. Like maybe 8th stock in, 9th stock in. I did that. The futures, we can look at that. All right, I think I got all of the tickers. Microsoft. Didn't I do Microsoft? No way. Okay, Microsoft. We'll do Microsoft. I've heard of it. Microsoft is rallying on hope from AI. Again, this is an idea. You can't shoot it down. Plus, it's got great management and good P&L. Technically, it's running against prior fail. So kind of like the Qs. They broke out and they have problem areas from last year, more than a year ago. And now they have to deal with it. So dip, I would be buying dips. So dip, bought, the next dip, I would get long. And if they dip and come back and take that out, inverse head and shoulders guarantees a new high. A new all-time high. So buy the next dip. Have the courage to step up and buy Microsoft on the next dip when Kramer is telling you, oh, you got to be careful because of such and such. The only thing that scares me fundamentally right now is the fiscal cliff. And if the politicians don't come to an agreement and they do something stupid around the debt ceiling, which usually isn't a concern of mine, but it's always a possibility. It's never happened where the U.S. defaults on its debt. So I just want to reserve a little caution for that. Otherwise, I will be buying dips in this one. Let's say this one falls to 290 or 285. That would be a good opportunity to get engaged with it from a trading perspective and maybe from an investment. So whatever you do, do it in bits and pieces. Don't go all in. That's what I would do. TWLO. Okay, I have 8 minutes left. I'm long TWLO and it paid me already. I can close them. Okay, I have 37 days on the clock. TWLO is a fast mover. It represents fear to me. So if TWLO is catching a bid and the VIX is rallying, that's a lie. The VIX is wrong because it's perceived crap, TWLO. So if it's perceived crap, then and they're buying it, that's a telltale sign that there isn't real fear and the VIX is just misleading us. I went long and I don't need a rally to win. Check that. I did buy a call on top of selling a put. So I'm long in two ways and they're both green, so I'm not too worried about it. And my long is down here at 39. So that trade is working out well. The bears are selling rallies. So if it pops into 51, I would imagine it would get sold hard. Hopefully it holds the low and it makes a higher low. Oh my gosh. Yes, please. Listen, 7 minutes running out of time. It would be an embarrassment to all of us if we cannot hit 100 likes. So please, KVUE. I am unfamiliar with KVUE. KVUE. What do they do? No, don't hit it twice, London. Gilberto, thank you. I don't know what this is. It looks pretty new, so do your homework. The charts are not going to help you much here. Charts are not going to help you much. So just little recap. If you're not a member, yes, I said to, but I don't know if I needed to hit something. I may have set it up wrong. So if the, let's see, what was I going to say? Anyway, the mode I'm operating in right now is I'm still looking to buy dips in general. So if we go to the futures, I am in a buy the dip mode for now, which means I'm looking for areas of opportunity. This is a visual as to what are we going to cut through. The February highs, the 2021 August fails, and 2022 August fails, and the CPI spike from last year. The April fails. So it's a bunch of junk above. We need something to punch right through. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ has punched right through all of those. Oh, that's what that is? Okay. Yeah. So it is, in theory, we have a bunch of sellers and a bunch of buyers. I can see us dipping to 4,039.80. And if we lose that, maybe we lose another set of round numbers. But we do have scattered support. So if they throw us over the fiscal cliff, support won't matter. We'll just go straight to probably 3,200, 2,800 or whatever in the SPX. It's that serious. It's never happened before. So I sure hope they don't do it. Versus a relief pop that can cut us through all of these. That would be ideal. If they just have like an announcement, okay, we've got a deal. Not like a can kick. Boom. A relief rally, which I don't like, but it will help us cut through this junk above. You see it, a bunch of lines from like a couple of years ago, a couple of months ago, and last year. So it's a lot to cut through. Hey, we're at 100. You guys rock. You guys are amazing. I just look away for a second when we're over that. That's amazing. I appreciate it. Tell friends about it. And reach out in the comment section. Say whatever you want. If you think you'd like to see new things in the comment, engage. I opened the comment to everybody. I don't know why you can't post, but I'll make sure I do it the next time. I'll be careful setting it up for sure. I did not restrict anybody, and I made the response as quick as possible, so I'm not filtering anybody. Just keep it civil. All right, we have time for a couple more tickers, I think, or one. We'll look at J&J since you mentioned it. Okay, so if you're long J&J, I can see why. Just make sure you don't take another lower low. And expect sellers around 161. I just did the ES. What? Just added. Okay, Wix. I think Wix reports, do they not? PayPal, we did. Did they just report? Yes. Okay, not an obvious entry point. You're going into an area that was a mess. So buy the dip into 82 or 83. That would be the, like, if it dips down to here, they should step up. And maybe you can ride it back up. To pile in at the open, I think you're buying it right here. So all those stuck here will be saying thank you. You're welcome. Oh, Intel. Yeah, we can do Intel. I have 3 minutes. My least favorite of all of them. It used to be my most favorite because of the value it presented, but now I'm unsure about their management. You do have support into the lows that they did. They shouldn't lose those lows. So if somebody's starting a long-term investment in Intel, I understand it. Okay, maybe sell puts to own shares in Intel. That would work. But I'm not excited about it. If NVIDIA corrects, this one will correct. It doesn't have as much to fall, but it will correct. UNH, real quick. I have 1 minute. I promised somebody I'll have a hard stop. I'm going to hard stop it at. So I'm going to be very rude. Not because I'm a rude guy. I totally appreciate you, but I'm on a deadline. Okay, so UNH must bounce. Otherwise, it comes down to 460. and which place I would sell a put. If you want to do an iron condor somewhere around here and versus down here, that might work as well. It's not very liquid, so be careful with your quotes, right? You go to open an iron condor, I wouldn't set it up as one trade. I would break it up into credit call spread and credit put spread, because it won't fill as 4 legs on one order. I don't have good history with that ticker that way. Selling a strangle could work if you have a big account. All right, so the other 2 tickers, I don't know, Rita, I'm sorry. So we will tackle those next time. I'm going to take this last minute to thank you all for being here. Members, you guys rock. You know my opinion of you. I'll see you in a little bit into the live room, which they're piling in. If you're not a member, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell and reach out. We can get you to be members. And don't trade alone, please, because you trading alone, Wall Street is going to beat you up. When we trade, we have 300 sets of eyeballs looking at different things, when we make very few mistakes. If you watch our intraday setups, they're bulletproof. We get it wrong every once in a while, but we make very few mistakes. All right. Thank you. And I'm going to end the stream in, oh, ding, 6:20 my time. Time to go. Thank you. Bye.